Sup, Poptropicans? Fans have demanded to know more about the secret lives of the Poptropica creators in the form of a Draw My Life video. Captain Crawface was supposed to do this, but he sent me, Gamer Guy, to do the job. Now, since I'm sure you peeps don't want to know anything about some dusty old captain, I will risk my life and employment to bring you instead the most awesome, interesting, and awesome biography ever! My own! Know that I may walk the plank for this one day, so leave your thanks in the comments. You are welcome! It all starts back in the 80s. I was born in the east of Eastman, to a boring family, in a boring neighborhood, in a boring city, in a boring world. In my diaper years, I had nothing but rattles and baby bottles. Thankfully, this changed the day Gamer Dad brought home an awesome new doodad, the Atari 2600. Nothing would ever be the same. Gamer Guy was about to be born, but I wasn't good at video games right away. Maybe it's because becoming good at something takes hard work, or maybe it's because I was only 3. But my first years as Gamer Guy were a mix of tears and pixels. To make matters worse, Gamer Dad would hog the Atari to play virtual chess, which to this day, I can't understand. Why would you buy a video game to play something you could play with a board? I want to play Burger Time. Things didn't get any better when I got a Nintendo. By then, strange creatures called younger brothers started roaming around the house, and I was forced to share. The real problem was they never wanted to play rad action games for rad players such as myself. Instead, they preferred games with fat plumbers and laughing dogs. I was even forced to let them win when we played multiplayer. What's the point of playing games if you're not allowed to gloat? The 90s were confusing times for me. On one hand, I was finally old enough to go to the arcades and play real games for real gamers, like those old school Japanese beat-em-ups. But on the other hand, I was constantly being annihilated by players who cheated by winning all the time. Just give me a minute to breathe, I would tell my foes, but to no avail. I guess I hadn't developed the warrior spirit yet. And all of this because instead of practicing my sick combos for 8 hours as any respectable gamer should, I had to go to school to learn stuff. Give me a break. Which brings me to my least favorite topic of all, school. Now I know what you're pondering. With all of his gaming skills, surely Gamer Guy was the class genius, right? And the answer would be yes, if Gamer Mom allowed me to go to gamer school like I told her. But no, she said you have to go to a real school and learn the state capitals. So there I was, poor little old me, daydreaming about my favorite games, while teachers kept going on and on and on about the Civil Revolution War of 1560, whatever. So I did the second best thing I could do given the circumstances. I drew a lot in class, which was good in art class, but not so good in other classes. I spent countless hours drawing my favorite characters from all those arcade games, sometimes trading pictures with my friends, and always getting in trouble with the unappreciative teachers. It seemed I was doomed to be a misunderstood artist forever, and doomed to low grades, until one day, a clever teacher at his wit's end had a clever new way to deal with moi. My history teacher realized that I spent more time drawing than taking notes in his class, but he also realized that many of my characters had speech bubbles with goofy jokes in them. Seeing this, he gave me special homework for the rest of the year. I didn't have to write more notes, but at the end of every class, I had to show him a political cartoon or comic strip based on the subject. He graded each cartoon and corrected me when I missed a point of the lecture. I ended up getting a good grade, but by far, the coolest thing about it is I made him and the entire class laugh. I guess my history teacher taught me a valuable lesson that year. It is cool to be good at something, but it is way cooler when that something can be shared with other people. He also taught me the world is round rather than square, as I'd always suspected. Both great lessons that I'll remember the rest of my life. And so it was decided. Since it seemed unlikely that I would bring world peace, or at least be rich and famous with my gaming skills, I instead focused on drawing during my middle and high school years. It wasn't easy trying to balance gaming and art and gaming, but somehow I made it all the way to art school. I eventually graduated with an art degree and a busy life, wondering if I should change my name from Gamer Guy to Artist Guy. But then, the worst best thing ever happened. The Zomberry Outbreak brought horror and chaos to our beautiful town, and there was no choice but to stay indoors. With a fridge full of goodies and a video game backlog of nearly 3,000 games, it was finally my time to put my feet up and catch up with my passion. I know some of you think that it's pretty heartless of me to be playing while the world ends, but hey, when future archaeologists dig to the rubble of this long-gone civilization, guess whose high score they'll find for Terror in the Garden? But alas, nothing good lasts forever, and some Poptropican had to go end the Zomberry crisis. Faced with the cruel new reality of hunger and cramped thumbs, I left my apartment in search for gainful employment. What a surprise it was to be invited to the Poptropica Creator's super secret team, even if it was only as Captain Crawfish's intern. Between bringing him lunch, loading the cannons of his ship, and feeding his pet squid, I also make cool art for Poptropica Islands. What a trip!
What will the future bring to Gamer Guy?
I don't know.
Will he keep making cool art?
Yeah, it could be.
Will he remain the undefeated champion of video games?
You bet! Regardless of alien invasions, a monster carnival, or shopping mall robberies, Gamer Guy will be in his room gaming and drawing, all to record his initials in
the high score screens of history.
Tell us your story. Go to poptropica.com and live the adventure. Make a cool Draw My Poptropica Life video and share it with us. Nothing would make us happier.